Hey, welcome back. In this video, we will learn and discuss more about some of the semantic elements in HTML. Okay, so as you can see, we are having this particular example here. I will just get rid of this one right now. So that is good. So here inside of the semantics documentation, basically inside of MDN, as you can see, there are many of the semantic elements here. So, okay, so let's start with some of them. So first of all, we are having the main element. So the main HTML element represents the dominant content of the body of a document. Okay, so basically it has to be the dominant content of the body. So what I'll do, I'll just go here, and as you can see inside of the body, I can add a main element here to indicate like, hey, this is the dominant content. Okay, all right. And what I'll do, I'll just add the lorem. All right. Okay, awesome. So this is the main element here. Okay, once again, this will just look like a div, but it will add the meaning to our content inside of our web page. Okay, then we are having the header element. The header HTML element represents introductory content, typically a group of introductory or navigational aids, basically a header. Okay, so here as you can see, we are having this particular header here. So what I can do basically, what I can do, I can just go here and I can just add a header. Okay, so let's add a header. Okay, all right, and let's add a something like navigation bar, something like that. Okay, so header might contain some sort of a navigation bar. Okay, so this is the header element. Okay, awesome. So yeah, there are some of the usage notes as well. Okay, so you can just look into that. Then we are having the footer element. So the footer HTML element represents a footer for its nearest ancestor sectioning content or sectioning root element. Okay, so if you want to add some sort of a footer, you can use this one. So what I can do, I can just go here inside of our web page, and after the, not after, but here I can add a footer. Okay, and I can just do something like copyright, and here I can add and percent copy and semicolon. Okay, so it will render the copyright symbol. Okay, so 2026, something like that. Okay, so this is our footer. Awesome. Then we are having the nav element or the navigation section element. So whenever you want to create some sort of a navigation element or the navigation bar, something like this one inside of the MDN, you should use the nav element or the nav HTML element basically. Okay, so the nav HTML element represents a section of page whose purpose is to provide navigation links either within the current document or to other documents. Okay, so inside of the header, basically, what I can do, I can add something like the H or something like the H2, something like this, like logo. Okay, and here, or let's do a paragraph here. Okay, let's do a paragraph, and here after this one, I can add a UL inside of the li. Let's do anchor element, it will go to nowhere, link 1, link. Okay, I should not be doing something like this, but what I should be doing, I should be copying pasting this one, link 1 and link 2. Okay, so here as you can see, we are having this header, and inside of that we are having this navigation bar. So what we should do, we should add the nav element here. Okay, and just paste everything here. Okay, so inside of the nav element. Okay, so this is the nav element. Awesome. Then we are having the section element. Basically, the section HTML element represents a generic standalone section of a document which does not have a more specific semantic element to represent it. So basically, what exactly it is a section. Like if you want to have a section, so for example here, as you can see, we are having two sections. Okay, so we can add the section element for indicating the sections of the document. Okay, all right. Then we are having the article element. So the article HTML element represents a self-contained composition of a document, page, application, or site which is intended to be independently distributable or reusable. Okay, so basically whenever you are writing some sort of an article for example, you can use the article element. I do not use that quite often, but there is the article element. Okay, then we are having the aside element. The aside HTML element represents a portion of the HTML document whose content is only indirectly related to the document's main content. So as you can see, if you want to do something like this, okay, once again, this is not the styling. They are using the styles here. That is why it is looking something like this, but you can use the aside element to do so. Okay, so you can use the aside element to basically write the aside content or the related content, basically portion of the document which content is only indirectly related content. Okay, indirectly related to the document's main content. Okay, so this is the aside element. Then we are having some other elements, something like the figure with the optional caption element. Okay, so the figure HTML element represents a self-contained content, potentially with an optional caption which is specified using the fig caption element. The figure, its caption, and its contents are referenced as a single unit. So as you can see, they are using the image element here and they are providing it inside of the figure element, and inside of that we are having the figure caption, so fig caption. So this is the fig caption here. Okay, once again, these are not the default styles. We can just turn off the styles here. Okay, turn off the styles and it will look something like this. Okay, so if I just go here, as you can see, this is the fig caption. Okay, so we don't want to do this. Okay, awesome. So this is the figure and the fig caption element here. Many of the times we use that for the audio elements as well. So okay, and then we are having this element which is the time HTML element. So the time HTML element represents a specific period of time. So whenever you are using some sort of a time, you can use the time HTML element to do so. Once again, this is not the default styling. So if I just get rid of this one, as you can see, the styles are not there. This looks just like normal text, but there is a meaning behind that, right? So the time has the date time attribute, which is something like this, and this one. Okay, awesome. So this is the time element as well. So there are many of the other elements as well. There is the mark element, summary element, details element, and so on and so forth. We have already seen the form element, so we are not covering up it here. Okay, so these are main semantic elements which we use inside of HTML. Okay, so as you can see, it is saying like, hey, these are some of the roughly 100 semantic elements available. Okay, so basically these are the new additions of the element inside of HTML. And now you might be thinking like, hey, can we just not use divs? Yes, we can use divs, but if we use the semantic elements, it will provide a significant meaning of our content, and we have already discussed some of the benefits of that as well in the previous video. Okay, awesome. So these are some of the semantic elements in HTML.